All right, everyone. This is Ranmonium. We're going to be watching Damwon versus JDG. This is day one of group stage, and these are two of the favorite teams to be coming into the World Championship. So this video is going to be tailored for people who are like really new to League of Legends or people who are really new to the professional scene. So I'm going to be kind of like really basic and generic. I'm going to try not to skip over like really important stuff. I know that watching some of the VOD reviews of some of the more advanced casters and things like that can be a bit confusing for people. So this is more for people who are really new to the game to try and give them that more introductory level. And yeah, if you're a little bit more advanced and I'm moving too slow for you, you can always up the speed. So you can go up to 1.5 speed or 2 times speed. I usually watch professional games at 2 times speed. This one I'll be watching at 1 time speed just so I can go slow for everybody. And we can enjoy the game. I haven't watched this game yet. I have no idea who wins, but I am really excited. So Damwon is #1 team coming out of Korea. JDG is #2 team coming out of China, but they barely lost the best of 5 to get the #1 spot. So this is a really hype matchup. So already we're into the pick ban phase. So you can see that the bans that are coming out. So Ornn was the first ban. That makes a lot of sense because both of these teams are top jungle centric. Ornn is just ultra safe. He's been had a ridiculously high win rate in the play-in stage, so they just want to get that off the table so they can go towards carry top laners, carry junglers, that type of stuff. You can see that the other bans were Graves and Renekton, and then on red side it was Akali, Lucian, and Pantheon. So Lucian mid is super popular at the professional level right now, usually paired with a AP jungler, so they want to get that off the table. The Graves ban makes a lot of sense because Graves is just power farming jungler, and then Renekton is first pick worthy in China right now. So the Renekton ban by Damwon to make sure they couldn't go towards it for their top laners. So already we see picks come out. So first pick Camille. So you can see the Damwon. Huge priority on top lane Camille, first pick, blind pick. This is a big deal. They're blind picking their top lane. They say there is nothing in your champion pool that I think can counter Camille. So that's really interesting to see that they have that much faith in Naguri on the Camille. The response from JDG is to pick up the Ashe. So Ashe is high priority ever since Caitlyn got nerfed. You've been seeing other champions come out like Twitch, for example, but Ashe is just really strong in lane, has decent scaling, good utility, great ability to start fights, all that stuff. And then they're pairing that with the Lilia, so AP jungler Lilia, who also has the ability to do long range engages with her E and her ultimate. So you can see that there's this long range pick potential coming out of the side of JDG. And you're seeing a lot more skirmishing come out on the side of Damwon. So you can see Canyon goes towards the Nidalee. So Lilia, very common power clearing jungler, AP jungler. Nidalee is kind of the quintessential AP power clearing type of jungler. And you can see that they lock in the blind pick of Twisted Fate mid lane for Damwon. So this is a very clear indication that they're looking towards being able to get mid control, push out mid, and then roam to a side lane, most likely top lane, because the Camille can just basically lock down the top lane with her Hextech Ultimatum, which is her ultimate. So you're seeing a very, it seems like top side is where Damwon wants to play right now. It's very clear that they're showing they blind picking their top laner, they're blind picking their mid laner, and they counterpicked their jungler. The response coming out on the side of JDG is the Volibear in the top lane. So Volibear can duel pretty well into the Camille in the early game. I don't think Volibear can match her as the game goes on, though. I think Camille will eventually be able to outduel the Volibear. Volibear just has better team fighting if the game goes a bit later, but can't really match the Camille in a split push. So you're seeing that looks like JDG is pivoting to be a little bit more catch and team fight oriented, while Damwon is more towards the split push style of play and the skirmishing style of play. Bans coming out, so you see the Set coming out. So Set ban on the first side of Damwon makes sense because Set mid lane has been used a lot to try and counter pushing mid laners. You see also the Thresh ban come out because they still haven't picked any of the supports On the side of JDG, they've banned out the Kalista and the Senna. So Kalista, Senna are some of the two most popular AD carries that are picked into the Ashe. This may be that they're trying to push them onto a Jhin pick for Damwon. We see the Jace come out, so this is really interesting. So that may be a Jace mid, I'm assuming. So Jace and the Twisted Fate, or they're picking this Jace to go into the Camille, in which case, like, the Volibear would either have to go support or mid. So that's kind of interesting. So we're seeing the Jhin being hovered on the side of Damwon, and they do lock it in. So they get the Jhin versus the Ashe matchup. The one downside of the Jhin is really bad into tanks. They've only picked up the Volibear, who can be considered tanky. So yeah, I'm seeing another tank come out for the support on the side of JDG. I actually don't like the Nautilus pick though, because Leona in general is way better. She wins the matchup in the Nautilus most of the time. She just outstats the Nautilus right now. So basically, it looks like JDG kind of counterpicked themselves in the support position. Leona definitely has the advantage on the Nautilus, in my opinion. So I do think that was a good fifth pick, Leona by Damwon. They definitely, I think maybe a better pick would have been maybe like the Alistar or something like that. Alistar, I think, does a little bit better into Leona, but they decided to go for the Nautilus instead. So yeah, we're seeing a mid lane Jace versus Twisted Fate. Okay, so there's a lot of early game power in both of these teams. It's very hard to see to judge which team scales better. I'd say that Ashe probably scales a little bit better than the Jhin, but the Twisted Fate scales a little bit better than the Jace. And yeah, both teams seem like they're really kind of skirmish heavy. I was actually kind of expecting that JDG would go more towards team fighters based off of their first three picks, but then they kind of switched it up and went back more towards a little bit more skirmishing. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what happens going into this game. Let's see if we can skip forward a little bit. Alright, let's get on to the Rift. I'm going to be sipping on some nice carbonated water. Standard 5 points from both teams. We're not getting that much invade. You see a lot of times the teams with the Lilia want to try to invade onto the Raptors, but it looks like JDG wants to be a defensive setup. They're not looking to try and invade onto the enemy Raptors. So Lilia is just going to look like she's going to try and power clear. I would say that Nidalee has more fighting power than the Lilia. So if the Nidalee finds the Lilia can usually force the Lilia out of the jungle. But Lilia has like really fast clears, pretty comparable to Nidalee. Like Nidalee has just some insane clear times if you know how to play her, but most people don't know how to play her. So that's kind of the truth of the matter when it comes to Nidalee. I'll move my camera over a little bit so I'm not blocking up the items and stuff like that. Oh, here it is. So they are going to do the invade. Okay, so we see this really late invade come out. Ooh, hit her with the spear. So you see this, like, they almost do this all the time with the Lilia. It's going to be coming down to a smite fight, potentially. Oh, no, they're just going to straight up fight. Who got the big crab? But first blood comes out for Damwon. But everyone's still level 1, so that means that one of the junglers did not get the big raptor. So Nidalee is just coming into mid lane and she's going towards top side, so she wants to try and steal the other raptors from the Lilia. So Lilia wants to go towards these raptors usually to get the level 2. So now we still have Lilia as level 1, has to go to her wolves instead. Yeah, this is disastrous for the Lilia because the Nidalee now can just basically take her entire red side. Okay, so this is good. So you see JDG, they're pushing out their lane, or they're trying to push out their lane here. So this will allow the Lilia to potentially invade onto Nidalee's red side. So if the bot lane doesn't get the push, then that means that Lilia can't invade the red side of the Nidalee. Yeah, so this is smart. Lilia is coming in to try and invade, to try and get a few more camps down. You can see that Nidalee is power clearing way ahead of the Lilia. Twisted Fate does have the push on mid lane, which is kind of surprising, actually. I would think that Jace would be able to match his pushing power. And we've seen that both sides are playing pretty passive. So you see Volibear's giving the Camille plenty of space. He's not stepping up. He's staying within an experience range, but he's not, trying to die for minions. So this is something you really gotta... If you're a top laner, like that was really important, is that you don't step up. You don't put yourself in a position where you potentially could die as the wave is crashing into your tower. So Lilia gets bot crab. So basically what we're in right now is both teams understand that blue side is strong on the top side of the map and red side is strong on the bottom side of the map. So you can see that the blue team's bot lane is playing very passive, playing very defensive, and the red team's top laner is playing very passive and very defensive right now. So it looks like they're potentially setting up a dive. Either that or Lilia is going to steal the Krugs. Doesn't have flash or ignite, but I think it's just a Krug steal. What I wanted to point out was that Canyon counter-jungled both the Raptors and the Krugs on the Twisted Fate doesn't have 6 yet, so they couldn't potentially do any 4-man shenanigans or anything. Really interesting roam by the Leona to check that. They know that she's... Oh, there's a flash comes in. That might be a kill. Yep. Wow. So Leona checked a little bit too early. The Nidalee was coming as well as the Twisted Fate. Let's see if they can turn this. Spear misses. They do get the 1 kill. Flash forward. Oh. Wow, Jace is now here as well. So you can see how fast these teams move. You see mid laners are roaming down. All multiple flashes are used. Now a TP coming in. I think that's the Volibear TPing in. Wow. Okay, so see how much they committed to that fight? Like, just a random, like, level 4 fight. You get both junglers coming down, both mid laners coming down, a top laner TPing. Like, this is how, like, professional play has evolved. It's way more intense than a lot of the games that you guys are probably used to, because the teams are just so coordinated. So flash onto the barrel, get the kill on Leona. Spear hits, but doesn't land on the Lilia. It lands on the Nautilus instead. That spear missing was kind of big as well. Flash forward, not able to get the kill on the Lilia. Lilia keeps surviving. Finally goes down, but Jace has arrived. And winds up being a 3 for 2 now, 3-2. Slight gold advantage for Damwon. Hex flash over from the Nautilus. Not gonna really get much. This is already like a really intense game. So the other thing you want to keep track of is the CS values. So you can see the CS values in kind of the center of the screen there. So you can see that Camille is at 46, Volibear is at 51, Nidalee's at 38, Lilia is at 24, Twisted Fate's at 36, Jace is at 45, Jhin at 39, Ashe at 47, and then Leona at 7, and Nautilus at 8. That's pretty typical. I'd say that mid lane CS is a little bit low. But yeah, you usually expect the junglers are going to have less CS than the laners will, and obviously supports don't take CS unless they have charges of like their relic shield up. So early Cloud Drake coming out to the side of Damwon, so they're going to start getting that Drake stacking. In general, if you feel like you've got the advantage, you want to try and get that first Drake before the 8-minute mark, because the 8-minute mark is when the Herald spawns. So you get that first Drake off the map before the Herald spawns, then you can rotate up and secure the Rift Herald, so that way the enemy team can't trade for any objectives. So this is what Twisted Fate does. He usually pushes up the lane, and then he tries to roam. You see that he had to he walked over a pink ward, so he had to clear that out, and then also the Scuttle Crab's taken top side, so he couldn't make the roam towards top lane. So we're kind of in a little bit of a lull because Twisted Fate has ultimate. He hasn't used it yet, so both top lane and bottom lane are playing a bit safe whenever TF disappears into Fog of War. You might get a blue buff steal coming out here.
However, no teleport for Zoom, 50%, a little closer for Nagri. Exactly, Nagri just walked in and put a ward on the red buff. So this is exactly what I was talking about, is you see Kanavi go for that red buff, Nagri has teleport, well you can just dive that bottom lane, those traps you can teleport to if you're Nagri. So
yeah, so they're clearing out the vision, they're trying to clear all this out so that way the TF can actually get his roams down.
They actually saw him pathing up, so Nagri should know that he's in the area. And you can remember that Zoom teleported.
Potential gank coming in. Chance of kill is pretty low here, I think. Unless the Camille uses her hook shot offensively.
Right now, and Nagari fully aware, not going to overextend, not going to be punished yet by Kanavi, who has hit level 6, same with Canyon. Just take a look if there's any disparities, can't notice any.
So in general, the next objective that's on the map is the Rift Herald, but the thing that you have to weigh is how much time is going to take you to take the Rift Herald, and what could you, how many like jungle camps could you be clearing, or how many lane minions could you be getting in that time? And then you have to weigh that as, is it worth the time investment? Because that's really what at the professional level a lot of these teams have to consider, is not what's like a good option, but what's the best option? What's the most time efficient option they could possibly do? You can see jungler giving the blue buff over to Twisted Fate. So now Nidley got the blue buff from the steal, and now Twisted Fate's got a blue buff. Nidley's going to immediately start going into the Rift Herald take. I don't know if they saw the Lilia and knew that she was bot side, and that's what prompted the take. But that's typically what you do, is if you see the jungler on the opposite side of the map, that's when you look for the objective, because then they won't be around to do the smite. Lilia's almost here. Okay, so Nidley's able to secure it. So turret plates are still up for another 4 minutes, so they should be able to have enough time to drop this to get the turret plates. Oh, okay, she's using her ultimate, so Nidley is asleep. Ooh, wow. Wow. So that was a great roam from Leona. So you can see how, at the professional level, how often supports will roam. You're seeing the Nautilus and the Leona roaming mid a lot. And that's something that you got to be careful of if you're playing in like your games, because a lot of times people don't know how to play around the lanes and don't know when to roam. Okay, so now we gotta, you see the Hextech ultimatum. It forces the Volibear to flash out and uses ultimate. They're gonna try and push this in and potentially look for a dive. You see the Twisted Fate roaming up, but you also see the Nautilus and the Lilia and the Jace also roaming up to try and protect against this dive right now. They do have the Rift Herald, so they may try to drop it once they get a few of these plates. Okay, so that's the ultimate down on the Nautilus. Nautilus lands the hook, comes in, but the Camille does so much damage. Jesus. Gold card comes out. That's a lot of damage on the Lilia and the Nautilus. I think they're going to lose this tower. Yeah, Leona's coming in. She's going to be beefy enough to take this tower aggro. Yeah, good job by JDG to give this up now. So the entire tower is going to go down. So typically, like the optimal use of Rift Herald is you want to get at least a few of the plates first and then drop the Rift Herald, because as you take plates, the tower gains more resistances, but Rift Herald does true damage, so Rift Herald can cut through those plates. So yeah, you usually want to take 3 plates just with your attacks, and the last 2 plates you use by Rift Herald, essentially. Alright, so we now have a 3k gold lead for Damwon. They've slowly been opening up this gold lead. Nidalee is kind of running away with it, but Nidalee does fall off. I do think Lilia is better late game than the Nidalee. It'll be interesting to see what Canyon goes for. He's got the Runic Echoes item. So yeah, they definitely want to try and force through these Drakes, try and get them on respawn if possible. That should force like a 23-minute soul, roughly. So if you don't know, The first two Drakes are random, as far as whether it's Infernal, Mountain, Cloud, or Ocean. And then after that, then the rift changes, and then all the Drakes after that point are the same Drake. If you get 4 Drakes, then you get the Drake Soul, which is like a really powerful buff that lasts the entire game. And then after the Drake Soul is taken, the Elder Drake is what spawns, and the Elder Drake gives you a massive buff. So Lily ult coming in, Ash Arrow coming in as well. This looks like it's a pick. This is exactly what their composition wants to do. Stopwatch comes in. Showmaker most likely is going down. Oh no, he's so fast. Holy cow, they actually turned that fight. Wow, how did Showmaker get out of that? That was so good. Like, I thought for sure Showmaker was dead, but he's able to get out. So that's exactly what JDG's composition was supposed to do. You get the long range Lilia, I believe it's Swirl Seed or E, into the ultimate, into the Ash Arrow, and they're still not able to get a pick. So that is that does not look good. That does not look good for JDG. Yeah, things are not looking good for JDG. Yeah, so they land the 2-man ultimate. Leona goes in to try and buy some time. The Ash Arrow hits the Nidalee, but somehow the Leona gets out. They turn their attention to the Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate stopwatches. He flashes out. He's got Nimbus Cloak, I believe. That's what allows him to go so fast. And he may have even used his Unsealed Spellbook to shift over to Ghost. But he was just ridiculously fast, just able to get out of there. Yeah, so 6 turret plates to 0, so that's 1,000 gold right there. And the gold lead is over 3,000 now. Leona ultimate misses. Nautilus does a great job buffering the Leona Zenith Blade in order to make it so that she can't land the stun. Camille came in mid lane, this looks like, when they were doing the replay. It forced out the flash from the Jason. He still wound up dying, so that's really bad. Wow, this is really impressive. Like, keep in mind, like, JDG is one of the favorites coming in, and Damwon is doing really well against them. Damwon is obviously also one of the favorites, but I mean, this is a pretty large gold lead at 15 minutes.
As is expected, again, 6 kills to 2, 2 dragons to 0, 1 tower to 0. It is a very sizable lead.
We're kind of in the mid game. This is where things kind of slow down usually a little bit. So really what both teams want to try and do is they want to try and maximize their farm. And they want to be looking for picks. And they want to try and get as many objectives as they can. So right now Damwon is 2 Drakes to 0. So you're going to see them try to be stacking these Drakes. They also have 4 minutes until Rift Herald despawns. So it looks like they're going to try and pick that up before the Drake shows up. Because they can potentially use this Rift Herald to crack the mid outer tower. So if you can crack that mid outer tower, that's a pretty big deal. Looks like JDG wants to contest for this. They're 4 strong, 5 strong. Volibear comes over the wall, but he's only half health. Twisted Fate ultimate is used. Smite gets it, so the Nidalee gets it with the Smite. They're trying to protect the eye to make it so they can't get it. So they get the engage on the Leona. Leona's going down, so that's 1 kill. 1 for 1, 2 for 1 now for Damwon. Jin's firing off his ultimate. He still has his 4th shot. He's still holding it. Oh! That's a lot of damage. Okay. So that was a 1 fight for Damwon. I don't know if they got the Rift Herald Eye. Yeah, it looks like they did get the Rift Herald Eye. And they got a 2 for 1. So now they're dropping Rift Herald. They're going to try and break open this mid-outer tower. And this Rift Herald, the other issue with this Rift Herald is causing pressure that allows them to start trying to get into this blue side jungle to get vision down, so that way they can set up for the Drake. So like Kanavi wants to reset before this Drake spawns because he's only half health. So Nidalee's going to keep trying to interrupt his back if she can, as long as she can find him. But this Drake should go over to Damwon. So you can see how they're snuffing out the vision. They're making it so JDG has to basically face check in the darkness. And this is going to be third Drake going over. So one more Drake, and Damwon gets Soul. So really, basically what this is saying is that in 5 minutes, we have to have a fight. There's going to be a fight around this next Drake. So Damwon is putting JDG on a timer, essentially. And you can see that Damwon is now 6,000 gold up. That's a very sizable gold lead for the 18-minute mark. It's not insurmountable, but it's very difficult to come back from that level of a gold lead. So the reason why JDG was able to push up there is that after the Drake take, you would expect the Damwon to reset a little bit. They were able to get that mid pressure to get at least a little bit of damage onto mid tower, but not enough to take the tower. So they get that one pick, but they had to use so many resources to pick the Leona that they didn't have that much left over for the extended fight, which allows Damwon to trade back those 2 kills. Yeah, and you can see like how badly the Camille is winning this this matchup now. You can see Camille is at full health and Volibear is less than half health. Here comes the dive. Volibear can't really do much of anything. Ultimatum goes down. Camille gets the kill. Yep, that's exactly what you want to do with the Twisted Fate and Camille. Ooh, wow. Okay, and the jungler solo kills the mid laner. That should never happen. So, like, a jungler should not be solo killing a mid laner. Mid laners usually have way more levels than the jungler does. But you can see that Kenya to Nidalee is equal level to the mid laner. So that just shows you like how much this Nidalee, how far this Nidalee is ahead. She's 414, 151 CS.
Thanks, Showmaker, for the vision on Jay's. Just okay, I don't think I was on a ward. Ends up getting killed. The red smite makes it super
So yeah, this is not looking good for JDG. Really impressive by Damwon. What can JDG do? They have to get a pick, but it can't be on the Leona. They have to get a pick, but it's got to be on like the Nidalee or the Twisted Fate or the Jhin or the Camille. Lamau may be dead. Oh, that was a great buffer. Do you see that? So he threw out his Q. His Q can attach the walls and pull him. And because he timed his Q so that he got the Q landed right when the CC from the Leona hit, he was able to still get pulled. Wow, Lily gets caught out. Both Nautilus and Lily go down. They trade 1 kill back, but you got Camille in the backline just tearing up your Ashe. This is going to be an ace. This might be the Baron. Yeah, so they do Baron, so that's an ace. Even though the jungler is down, they can still do Baron because there's nobody to contest on the side of JDG. 15-5. Wow. I think my pick'ems may have been wrong. I put JDG higher than Damwon, but Damwon has proven me wrong this first game. Really, really impressive from Damwon. So, Drake is in 140. Let's watch this fight first. So they get the slow onto the Lilia. They flash to the Zenith Blade. They get the CC on her, knock her down because she's not that tanky. Nautilus winds up going down. I don't know why JDG is trying to fight this. But yeah, it winds up being an ace. So this is kind of... LPL is known for just like no man left behind type style of fights where they just all try to fight even if somebody gets caught. And in that case, they could have just taken the 1 or the 2 picks, but instead they tried to fight the 3v5 and they ended up getting aced. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if they hadn't gone for that fight, then they still probably would have been able to take the Baron. Camille gets the Hextech ultimatum on the Lilia. Lilia should be dead. Oh, she's barely getting away. Ashe winds up going down. Lily goes down to the Nidalee. Jhin winds up going down to the Jace. He's trying to get out. I don't think he's going to be able to get away. The Leona should catch him. Yep, and that's the Jace going down, so that winds up being a 4-for-1. Only the Jhin goes down, and the Nidalee is still chasing the Nautilus. Oh, he flashed over. That's hilarious. So in the meantime, you're seeing that the rest of the team is pushing. So, like, you don't normally want to chase for kills. Like, that's really bad. The reason why they're trying to chase for this kill is because the Nidalee can't really help them push that much. They're getting other people that are pushing, and they're basically just stalling out the Nautilus, so the Nautilus can't back. And if the Nautilus dies, then that means that it'll be a 5v4 for the Drake fight that's coming up.
The minions to help out. No, this is an honorable. Don't get out of here, Nagari. Don't you dare. Okay, Ghost comes in for the kill.
Okay, so the reason why they delayed that kill for so long is because now the Mountain Drake is up, which is the soul for Damwon, and the Nautilus is down. So it's a 5v4. So Damwon will get this Drake for free now, unless, you know, there's some miracle steal from Kanavi. So yeah, so now we have Drake Soul that went over to Damwon. It's the Mountain Soul, which means they get an extra shield. So you can see that white on their health bar, that additional health that they gain. That's the shield that they gain from the Mountain Soul.
Yeah, I mean, we knew this team was phenomenal in the early game, and they're definitely
Yeah, great job locking down the Lilia.
great team fight team. That's one of the things that maybe
Nearly goes after the Lilia. Camille comes back in, gets the Volibear. They get the one kill onto the Jhin, but yeah, it's just straight up cleanup.
instantly hook shot over towards the top and get more and more.
This is pretty much all she wrote, unless JDG gets some amazing team fight. Oh, wow. Leona's still alive. That was a massive heal coming out of the Nidalee. Holy cow. That just shows you like what happens when you're that far ahead. You can just like smack them with your stacks of gold.
Who's next? It will be Yagao, and finally Kanavi. He gets caught out. Can he get Canyon? And yes, he does.
Alright, that's another ace.
4-5.
That's the game.
Kill secured by Showmaker. The Nexus turret will
So, really impressive. So, like, these were two of the top teams in the world right now. Damwon had a just absolutely dominated. So, Damwon, after that performance, holy cow, they may be the favorite. So, the only other team that would be considered in contention with Damwon right now would be Top. So, Damwon is in Group B. Top is in Group D. So, they're not going to play each other in this group stage. But, whew. Oh man, it's because JDG went to Game 5 against Top, and then now Damwon just absolutely destroyed JDG. So Damwon making the case for Korea. The Korea is here, and Korea is trying to reclaim their former glory and try and win this World Championship. So I think that kind of wraps up this game. I'm not going to try to spoil any of the other games going on with this day of play, but really excited to see Damwon play. They look really good. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment. If there's something from the game you don't understand, like, please let me know, because this is like a learning experience. I'm trying to get better at framing what I'm talking about from like a beginner's perspective. So if I gloss over something and you got lost and you didn't understand something, like, let me know, and I'll try to do better next time. But yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.